Hey guys, it's your boy Joe back at it again, codingphase.com. Your boy's back and I done did it again one more time. Today we are looking for entry level positions for developers. For those of you guys that are new to the channel, it seems like we got another viral video, right? And it seems like a lot of new people's popping up in the new channel, right? So I guess you guys like that content where, I react to a couple of videos. I'm going to be dropping one later on tonight. And again, it's going to be all related in a sense to development, related to career. So we're not going to go in and start, going in and doing like reactions of random shit. You know what I mean? It's going to be all related to what we do here on codingphase.com. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Okay. Let me just go in. Shout out to the people that's in here. I see the squad is here. Okay, shout out to Renee's in here. I see my boy Henry Codes is in here. Guys, if you are watching this right now, make sure you leave a message in the chat so I could give you guys a shout out. And, I could go in and actually, communicate with you guys. All right. So, yeah, let's go in. Let's take a look, man. Let's take a look at what's going on. All right. I want to see what's popping. I want to see what's going on in the world. What jobs is popping up? Okay, look at that. Okay, junior level web developer. Again, you might see some of these jobs that popping up. Some companies, they're willing to give people a chance, right? This is Signals in Utah, if I'm not mistaken. Again, hey, it's nothing crazy. It's not out of this world. It's not, something that you'll be like, damn, damn, I'm going to get a crazy bag. Okay. But you have to understand, in this job market, you got to do what you got to do. Okay. Those days of companies going in and just giving you a big ass bag just because, hey, right now the game is competitive. So companies know that, right? 40 to 50K starting, junior level position. Okay, so let's see what's going on with that. All right, so we're looking through all of these. Okay, I want to go through the dates so we can see the latest ones. Okay, website and SEO manager. There's a part-time gig, right? Automation Mobility Inc. This is in Lynchburg, Virginia. Okay, let's see what else is out here. Oh shoot, Zappos! Shout out to Zappos. If I'm not mistaken, I think Zappos is part of Amazon. If I'm not mistaken, right? If you are in the New York City area, they are looking for an email and app marketing associate at Zappos. Okay, they're using Salesforce Marketing Cloud, right? Coding and building and testing the emails. All right. So for those of you guys that's in New York City, I know a lot of you guys are from out there. This is a great opportunity. Shout out to my boy Renee. Congratulations to him. If you guys don't know, he recently got hired. He already been hired, but this is like his second, third job. He got a pretty big company that just gave him a new position, right? Starts with an S. It finishes with PS5. So shout out to him, man. All right, I'm happy for you, bro. Let me see what else we have in here. Okay, we're looking through all the job listings, seeing where we're finding opportunities. Okay, look at this. For those of you guys that don't know, website accessibility is something that's pretty big. If you want to go in and specialize in something, especially when it comes to web development, website accessibility is really big. Okay, there's a lot of companies that need people that know how to do this and make sure that all of the pages and all of the files and everything is accessible. Okay, this is for contractor will utilize the state of Ohio's web content management tool to implement these updates, ensuring consistency with state approved templates, navigation structures, and branding. So again, this is going to be for the state of Ohio. So pretty nice, $52 to $56 an hour. All right, contract work. Oh, it seems like it's a long-term contract. So we're talking about 12 months and more. Okay, a really good opportunity there. Okay, let's continue. Let's go into this, right? FileMaker. I've seen this a couple of times. Okay, so again, this is a platform, right? It's a mixture between IT and development, right? But if you guys want to go in and pay attention to this, okay, look into this FileMaker. This might be a good opportunity for some of you guys. All right. Again, right now, what you want to be doing is you want to be niching down. You don't want to be out here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to log into this thing. Okay. You don't want to be out here actually, just learning the most basic stuff. You want to go in and specialize in something, some type of niche, some type of field, right? Give me 1 second. I got so many passwords. Okay, let's see. I'm just logging in here. All right. Jesus Christ, they're gonna make me verify through my phone. It's the worst when they do that, man. Okay, so let me see. I'm putting the code. Okay, and here we go. All right. Let me see. Let's see. They're making me sign up for this. I have multiple accounts. So let's see. Just going through the process, guys. So shout out to everybody that's in here. I see a couple of you guys popping up. Okay. Okay, just going in, just adding a bunch of stuff. All right, cool. So we are back. All right, great. Let's continue with this. I see a couple of you guys popping up in here. Again, let me give my shout outs. I like to take care of my peoples for popping up. We got Chris Norton, got Rachel Villetta. What's going on, Rachel? NAE. Okay, bro, tripping, my guy. Okay, we got Deborah. Okay, and let me see. Reading through here. My mic is low. Somebody said my mic is low. My mic is low. You let me know if my mic is low or it's not low. Okay, I don't think it's low because I see it peaking. When the little thing starts going red, I can see it peaking. So I'm pretty sure you could see. You could hear me, right? I'm pretty sure you could hear me. Okay, let me see. Wimmitz is in here. Nelly is deaf. What's going on? And we got my boy Kristen Codes. Shout out to him. All right, so let's continue with this. Let's continue looking for job opportunities and seeing what's going on in the job market today for development, right? In a sense, what we do here is we look at jobs that is all related to web development and also related to tech. Okay, so for anybody that's here that's new, this is what we do. All right. By the way, guys, this live stream is brought to you by codingphase.com. Yes. Okay. If you haven't checked out codingphase.com, is our platform where we've basically been helping thousands of people get into the tech industry, right? Teaching them the right skills, teaching them the right career path. We give you a portfolio template. We give you resume builder that's guaranteed to go through the ATS bots. we even help you, build your resume, like the whole process. Like we do everything for you, and we focus on the career paths that have less competition and actually have jobs. Okay, so we're talking about things like email development, Shopify, web administrator, PHP, right? So the things that not a lot of people talk about, which is a good thing, because if you want to get a job, you don't want to go where the zombie horde is going. You want to go where you could actually get an opportunity and get hired. All right. So let me close this tab, and yeah, let's continue with this, man. Okay, I'm reading through the chat. If you guys have any questions, any topics you guys want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. I will get to it. Okay, so let me see. Last spoiler says, can we get hired by a job and outsource the work? I mean, if you want to scheme it, there's ways to do it. I've seen people do it, but the truth is, bro, like, you gotta work, man. You gotta do the work. Most of these companies, they're not gonna go in and in a sense, like they could see through the bullshit. Like, I'll give you guys a quick story time. Okay, ta-da-da, right? So there was one time, right, in the previous company that I used to work for, where we were looking for a Laravel developer, right? And here pops up this Indian guy. Shout out to the Indians. They're hustlers, right? They know what they're doing, right? And the guy shows up and says, yeah, man, I could definitely build this. And, I could definitely come in and do the job. I just would like to work remotely. And we was like, oh, okay. I mean, sometimes, at the time it wasn't popular to say, hey, I'm going to work remotely. But, hey, we was, in need of having other Laravel developers to help us rebuild a whole complete website. And yeah, the guy popped up. Boom. We did the interview. He talked about he got 10 years in the game. He did a bunch of stuff, right? And then from there, he goes in and he says, the only problem is that I would like to work India hours. And when he said that, me and the other guy, right? So it's me and the CEO of the company. We looked at each other like, wait, what? You want to work India hours? He's like, yeah, I'm more comfortable working those hours, right? So what happened was that this guy was trying to scheme me. So he lives here in the United States, right? He goes to small businesses, small, medium-sized businesses. He says he's going to get hired to do a job. And what he actually does is he goes and gets a couple of Indian guys to do the work in India. And he gets paid here top dollar just because he got a resident card or a freaking citizenship. And we was like, nah, bro, we actually need people to work here with us, and we could communicate with them. And, because it was a big project. Also, too, we can't be working India hours. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, you work our hours. You know what I mean? Like, what you talking about? I got to work India. Yo, can I show up to your job? And yeah, can you give me a job, but I'm gonna do India hours? Bro, you're bugging. So when you think about this idea of like, man, can I just outsource the job? That works if you're working for like marketing, if you're working with designers or something like that. You could outsource a lot of the work. You could find the clients here and then from there outsource the work. But the truth is that when you're doing development, this is not design. This is not marketing. Okay, this is some shit that you got to go in, communicate. We need to see your code. We need to see your work. It's back and forth. Okay, things pop up, right? It's an e-commerce company. We need you to come in and work. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to fly. Dude is like, yo, can I outsource everything? It's like, bro, it don't work like that. All right, let's continue with this, man. Okay, everybody try to find a scheme, bro. I don't know why people just don't want to work. I don't know why. You have to understand in life, if you want to make money, you want to take care of your family, you want to take care of yourself, you're going to have to put in the work. There's no way around it. All right. So let's continue with this. All right. So we have in here BigCommerce, Shopify, specialist, Nation Band Salt Company, $24 an hour, Lancaster, California. Okay. This is, I mean, let me see. This is an associate position. This don't make no sense, man. It's an associate position, but you must be an expert with big commerce. And you're trying to pay $20 to $24 an hour in California. Sometimes some of these companies, there's days I just wish I could go through the screen, right? Put my hand through the screen on like the movie, what was it, The Ring, and just slap the whoever posted this. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Dude is like, yeah, we're looking for somebody who has X amount of experience in this. I want you to be an expert in this. But yeah, man, we need you to do this shit for $20 an hour. Why would somebody do this shit for $20 an hour when you're an expert? You get paid $50 to $70, $80 an hour to do the same work. I understand you're trying to catch a deal, but come on now, okay? That's like, yo, in September, I was thinking about going to work for a couple of companies that I was interested in. And there was a couple of roles that just made sense, right? It was going to be easy. I mean, from the job description and all the stuff, I said, you know what, let me go in and apply to them. Remember, I made a video about this, how I got pretty much like 7 interviews in one weekend, right? I applied to 20 jobs, and out of the 20 jobs, I got 7 companies that hit me back up, and I got interviews. And one of these companies was an entrepreneur, right? An entrepreneur, right? He actually has a couple of businesses, online businesses, but he was looking for somebody to do Go High Level. I was like, yeah, I could do Go High Level. I've done that shit plenty of times, right? And the pay wasn't bad, right? The pay was around like, $70,000, $80,000. You must say, Joe, why the hell will you do $70,000, $80,000 a year, right? Why would you apply to that? Well, it's very simple. Go High Level is so easy. I could get that shit done in 1 to 2 hours, most of the work, right? At that point, I'm just getting paid to, chill. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I like to do it. That's why these type of skills that I teach you guys, that's the beauty of it. A lot of this shit, you don't have to go in and spend all day, right? When you go in and you focus more like on full stack development, software engineering, this is something that's all day. When it comes to email development, content management systems, right? Shopify, this is stuff you could do in 2 to 3 hours, and you chilling for the rest of the day if you know how to move, right? So again, this is why I teach these things, because it allows you to do multiple jobs in, job stack in a sense. Okay, but yeah, so I go in and apply to the shit. Boom, I go in, do the interview, do everything, and then the pay was supposed to be like $70,000, $80,000, right? Now, when the guy goes in and we start talking about just going back and forth about the project, I'm like, yeah, I could do this. I could knock this out this weekend, right? And he had like an application with Lovable and a couple of other things that he just like vibe coded. So he don't know how to code. He just like somehow fucking finagle his way to fucking make some bullshit application, and he just needed somebody that really knows what they're doing to then from there really like make it into a real application. So and connected with Go High Level with his whole system for his business. So whatever, when me and the guy start talking about it, he starts telling me, yeah, can you get this project here done by this weekend? It shouldn't take that long, right? And yeah, can we settle on $200? And I was like, nah, bro. I don't work on project based. I got $200 for you, right? Because at the end of the day, you might want to do some changes. You might want to add a couple of things to it. You might want to go in and do X amount, whatever, right? If I'm gonna do some work for you, I'm not gonna get paid $200, bro. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to even do that, right? What you listed was $70,000 to $80,000. Well, yeah, it's just this the first project we want. Okay, but that doesn't work for me, because if I go in and I'll do the project for you, right? And then now you give me $200 and now you disappear, right? Now I'm wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to go in and with small businesses and entrepreneurs and people who are grinding out here, you got to go in and ask the right questions. Okay, don't be scared. Don't, just go back and forth and ask all the questions, because, there's our red flags right here. When somebody comes in and says, well, $20 to $24 an hour, like, yeah, it's a big red flag when you're talking about you want somebody who know BigCommerce and Shopify development. This is $80,000 minimum, right? Starting for Shopify is like $70,000, and that's like if you're a junior developer, you've never done this before. Okay, now you're talking about BigCommerce. BigCommerce is in a sense, is a level higher than Shopify because of the way how you have to build the themes and you have to build the actual applications inside of it, right? So you don't start at 70, you starting at 85, 90. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody to come in and be like, yeah, man, can we start with $20, $24? Nah, bro, it's not happening, bro. It's not happening, bro. Dudes is trying to find somebody homeless. They're like, yo, can we catch a deal? Is there a developer out there homeless that he needs a job by tomorrow? Can we catch a deal real quick? It's not happening. Okay. Let's continue with this, right? E-commerce specialist, Sierra Vista, $16 an hour. This is a hybrid work, right? This is like website management. This is simple. You might say, well, $16 an hour is low. In reality, what you're doing is just managing an online website, right? It's a flexible schedule. In a sense, it's like, you're not even going to have to be in the office or do anything. This is like more like project based. Let's continue going through here, right? Let's see what else we have in here. Again, I'm going through all the jobs that's listed that's focusing in some type of web development, right? That's why we search HTML, so we could see exactly, what opportunities is here. Okay. This is in Irvine, Texas, low-cost pet vax. Okay, $30 to $40 an hour. Okay, now we're talking. All right. We're looking for dedicated remote IT specialist to our marketing team. Okay. So this position involves managing and troubleshooting various internet IT issues in the marketing team may encounter. Again, sometimes some of these companies, they don't even know how to fucking create the job listing, because technically this is not an IT job. This is what you would call a web administrator, right? Automation specialist. This is what they're looking for, right? They're looking for somebody who has WordPress, Zapier, Cloudflare. Look at this, Cloudflare. What's Cloudflare? Okay, God bless them, right? Google Drive, Klaviyo is a plus, and Google Tag Manager, Google APIs, right? Proficiency with CSS, HTML, JavaScript, is a problem solver, troubleshooter, strong communication skills, experience working in marketing or marketing department, strong. It's a strong plus. Okay, we're gonna add this so we could add that to the website codingphase.com. By the way, this is a really good position. Marketing technologist, right? For those of you guys that don't know, MarTech is big. Okay. For again, some of you guys are beginners. This is what we focus on, MarTech. Okay, it means marketing technology. This is one of those titles that you're gonna start seeing more and more often, right? Right now, there's a lot of people trying to get jobs as software engineers. You don't want to go that route, okay? Even though you might be a software engineer, I have people that have computer science degrees, have gone to boot camps, right? And right now they're struggling, they can't get a job. They come to codingphase.com. I come in, I teach them the right skills, the right things that they need to know, right? And the things that they're going to be doing on the job to be able to work in MarTech, okay? Marketing technology. There's a couple of skills that you need. You need to work with a CMS system. You need to work with emails, right? And again, in this new era of development, right? And I said this before. Remember when I did a video where I talked about how the people that's going to shine the most, it's not going to be the quote unquote software engineer, right? Because a lot of the stuff that the software engineer does, right, can be done through Claude, can be done through AI, right? Cursor, etc. This is why a lot of people are struggling to find jobs, because in reality, what used to make you special of click-clacking and knowing how to write code and how to do syntax and all of this stuff, in reality, it's no longer special, okay? That's the facts, right? So what makes you special is knowing specific systems and processes for businesses. So again, let's go back into this. This is a job description. Again, for anybody watching this, this is exactly what we teach on the web administrator and the email developer career path. Let's take a look again one more time, right? WordPress, okay? Some of you guys might say, WordPress? I don't want to touch WordPress. Well, that's what you got to do nowadays, okay? You got to learn how to use a CMS system. Zapier, this is for setting up automations and APIs that they probably have, right? This is why we're also adding now this new career path called AI automations, which is not focusing on teaching you how to build a little rag and this. Not, we're teaching how to use the tools for the job for these new AI positions that you're gonna start seeing, right? So Zapier, right? Of course, Cloudflare, you guys might know about this, right? This is for hosting and, you know, for your pages and for your, you know, your whole DNS and the whole shebang, right? They do a million things, right? Working with Google Drive, okay? Klaviyo, this is where the emails come in. This is why it's called a marketing technologist, okay? You're gonna need to know how to build emails. You're gonna need to know how to manage the websites that they have, right? And again, you're gonna need to know how all of these tools work together. This is why when I made that video of the positions where people is not gonna have a hard time to find opportunities, and I mentioned that web administrators and email developers are gonna be comfortable, right, with these new type of jobs, because as a web administrator or email developer, you're not focused so much in the code. You're focused on the process of solving a problem, using tools. And this is where a lot of software engineers, a lot of front-end developers, a lot of back-end developers, they struggle because they believe that they have to build everything from scratch, okay? If I need you to build me an online store, you shouldn't be thinking about, hey, let me go in and build an online store. Like, no, what you want to think about is, what are the services that I could use to build this online store? You got Shopify, you got BigCommerce, you might even have WordPress, right? Now you could go in and build this much faster, all right? Then from there, you go in and you say, well, I need to set up certain automations. The software engineer will go in, well, let me code this shit out. I don't need you to code this shit out. There's services for this. You understand? Who understands here, like, what I'm trying to say with this, right? And this is where people are struggling. There's a video that I gotta do an actual how you call this? Not a response, but I gotta go in and make a video about it, where this guy from Harvard, one of the main things that not Harvard, Stanford. He's a college professor in Stanford. He's also an entrepreneur, right? He owns a pretty big company too, but he also teaches in Stanford University. And what he's saying is that, you know, the people that's struggling the most is the people that's being hard-headed. Those software engineers that came in with this mindset of, I gotta build everything, right? And I could do it better than the AI, or I could do it better than all of these other services. They're the ones struggling. Companies know that now there's a bunch of tools, a bunch of AI features, and a bunch of things that we can use to get the job done. So in reality, you gotta be here like a guy that you know, conducts a orchestra, right? In a sense, right? Where you have the technical skills, but you also understand the processes for these things to actually work. So now your job really consists of making all of these things work together. It could be from AI, right? It could be an AI tool. It could be, what's the best LLM for this specific task? What's the best service? Should I use make.com or maker.com or NAN? Should I be going in and using, you know, this service to create the ads? What's the best LLM model to create images, realistic images? Like, there's things that you're gonna have to know that most engineers, they're fighting it. They're like, nah, I want to code. That shit is dead. You know what I'm saying? That shit is dead. That mentality, right? For these new type of jobs, it doesn't work because we don't need you to code this shit from scratch. We need you to use the tools that's already available to get this shit done ASAP. So you could be very productive. You know what I'm saying? You can't fight this no more. You have to understand these things. This is why we have this new career path on Coding Phase called AI automations. And we're not focusing on using like, hey, let's go in and create an application to then use AI. That's not what people want you to do right now, right? There's jobs for that, but at the same time, those jobs are extremely competitive, right? Like if you go in and say, well, I want to go in and get into AI and I want to work for I don't know, OpenAI, let's say, Anthropic. You don't think everybody in the world wants to get that job? Okay? So that's very competitive. These are the type of jobs that you're going to have to need a degree, okay? Either in some type of math or science, probably a master's, right? And then on top of that, you need experience. So if you don't have none of those things, right, and you're going on that path and you're like, well, I'm going to go in, I'm going to take a Udemy course to become a fucking AI expert. It's like, bro, like, that's not what small businesses, medium-sized businesses that's going to actually hire you, they need you to do. So you need to focus on the things that they're looking for. So again, things like Zapier, things like NAN, things like Go High Level, like these are the things that you're going to have to learn. If you don't learn it, it's a wrap, okay? You're going to be here sitting down somewhere, right? Talking about, man, I can't find a job. While some guys that came in and know HTML, CSS, and a couple of little things, a little bit of JavaScript, he got a job. Again, shout out to my boy, Renee. You know what I'm saying? Renee working at a place called, starts with an S and finishes with PS5. Shout out to him, right? Go in, go ask Renee. Renee, you know, how much Python you know? You know what I'm saying? And he just got a job, right? Now, the guy that has all of his knowledge, I took 20,000 Udemy courses, he's out here struggling. This is what I've been trying to wake you guys up to this, okay? Again, let's continue looking for jobs. Let's see what's going on. Again, for anybody that wants to learn these things, come to codingphase.com. Guys, I don't care if you already know how to code. You don't know how to get a job right now, okay? So come in, let's go in, let's pack you up, right? Get you a nice resume, a nice portfolio, give you the right projects, teach you the right skills to get a job today, right? And all you have to do is come in. It's $1 a day. We're talking about $30, okay? If $30 to you is a lot of money, you got bigger problems than trying to find a job. Right? Like right now, this is a big problem that you have. If $30 to you, you're like, yeah, I can't afford to invest $30 in myself for 1 month. Yeah, bro, like there's nothing we could do for you. Okay. So again, for those of you guys that want to come in and you want to get this done, come, trust me. This is what we've been doing. We got over, 9 years. I mean, eight, we started in 2017. Next year is 10 years. Okay. This January, we became 9 years. Okay, you don't have to believe me. You could go in. This is regular folks, just like you and me. Okay, nobody here special. Nobody was born learning how to code. Nobody was here, you know what I mean, with like 20 freaking college degrees. Regular folks. Dudes came from the block. Like, yo, Joe, can I get a job? Can I get in? Yeah, here you go, kiddo. Follow this curriculum, follow this plan, take this portfolio template, build this type of projects. Then from there, go to the interviews. And these are the type of jobs that you need to be applying to. That's it. Okay? This shit is, it's simple. Okay? When I be seeing people online and on TikTok and all these young kids be like, man, I just graduated from college and I can't find a job. I got 9 months. I got 15 months. I'm like, bro, you know how to code. You got technical skills. You just looking at the wrong places right now. That's it. You just need your boy Joe to put the battery in your back, give you a pat in the back and say, yo, keep it moving. Keep going. This is what you got to go into. And you get hired. I mean, I don't know. I try to help people out, but people's hard-headed too. People don't understand that you can code all you want. Everything that you want to build, you can build on your own time, right? Right now, what you want to care about is getting a job, putting money in your pocket, building experience, okay? Without experience, you can't get the top paying jobs. It doesn't work like that. You know, for anybody that wants to go in and be like, well, I want to go and work at XYZ.com. They're paying $200,000 plus bonuses, and you need a degree for that, right? From a reputable place, right? So that could at least somehow open up the door a little bit. And it's not even guaranteed. I'm seeing people that, you know, have gone to freaking Stanford. This is a girl that went to MIT, got a master's degree, and she can't find a job, right? But that's where I go in and I'll be like, man, that don't make no sense, right? I wouldn't go that way if people struggling, and you know what I'm saying? So I will go where I'm needed, okay? So again, you got to understand how this industry works. Let me see. Shout out to everybody in here. When we say, if you want opportunity to go to Kobo, even Kobo right now is looking a little bit tough, because in reality, you know, if you look into it, Anthropic released I think like a blog post talking about Kobo and how, you know, their new system is specializing in that. So companies like IBM that used to go in and provide these services, and guys that were like the old heads that was in that space of Kobo, in reality, like they don't really need them like that. And a lot of that old code base is now going to be changed into more modern languages, right? So, I mean, look it up. This is why the stock market dropped a couple of weeks ago, just because of that. Okay. Shout out to everybody in here. Reading through here, web admin is the best track for beginners on Coding Phase, right? Yes. That's the easiest one. You can learn web administration in a month. To learn email development is a little bit harder because you got to go in and understand how to test the emails, how to write HTML tables, how, you know, the little quirks that emails have. Let me see, reading through here. You only have your few tasks to get done during the day. Let me see. They don't check. Wimia says they don't check you're not working at all. You're not working all day in these jobs that you can stack. Well, like I was saying, when you're doing certain type of jobs, right, there's tasks that you have. So for example, like if I'm a web administrator, all right, let's say right now I work for, let's say I work for ESPN. Okay. Let me show you the process of this. Okay. Let's say I work at ESPN, right? It's a company owned by Disney, right? So and technically you work for Disney, right? So as a web administrator, right? This website here, it's basically probably built with maybe Node.js, right? But there's a CMS system behind it. That's where all of the content goes, okay? Your job as a web administrator is to make sure that the title, the information, the videos that's going to be shown here, that all of these links, you see how there's a link here, there's a link here, there's a link here. All of this is connected to the right places, okay? That if I go in and I add, let's say, a blog post or some type of news article, right? Let's say I work for Fox News, right? Somebody has to go in and post this on the website. Somebody has to go in and take the article that's already written by probably a copywriter, a journalist. We have to make sure that this website looks exactly how it's supposed to. Has all of the links connected to the right articles, has the videos that's supposed to be linked to the right place, and that's your job. Same thing if you work for an e-commerce company. If you work for Fashion Nova, all right? If you work for Fashion Nova, get ready, you're about to see some baddies, okay? So for those of you guys that goon, this Fashion Nova, man, okay? Stop playing with them, okay? So guess what? This whole website gets updated every single day. There's multiple web administrators that work on this website. It's a combination between the marketing team, the e-commerce department, where they know exactly what inventory, what products is coming out, right? And then the web administrator, the person who manages this store. This website is built on Shopify, okay? The CEO is not the one posting. When they go in and they create a new whatever, a new spring collection, right? All of these images get done in the studio, all the girls, whatever, they get there, boom. Then from there, you have all of the information about each product. What's the title of it? What's the price of it? How much, how many different items is going to be available, right? You got to make sure you add in the right image over here, the right image over here, right? Who are the people that's supposed to show up on this type of specific product? All of that's already given to you. It could be in a Google Docs. It could be through Google Drive. Your job is to make sure that this is optimized. The images are optimized, making sure that the images are the right ones for the specific product. Like, your job is to maintain the website. Someone has to do this. This is the shit that people don't understand. Like, you're not going to have AI just doing everything, right? Someone has to go in and manage all of this shit. Okay, so that's the job of the web administrator. You know what I mean? Shout out to Fashion Nova, man. I could be scrolling all day here, bro. Like, shout out to them, man. There's always a couple of baddies, man. You know what I mean? I got a couple of favorites in there. You know what I mean? So shout out to Fashion Nova. Once in a while, I got to stop by. Okay, see what they got, in the new inventory. All right? Fashion Nova is the new Victoria's Secret, you know what I mean? But without no secret. It's just out there like, yo, here you go, kiddo. Feed the eyes, all right? Let's continue with this, okay? So you only have a few tasks. That's what Henry says. Yes, that's how the job is. You go in, you got your tasks. There's a task manager. There's other things you got to work on for the day. If you go in and you knock it out and you make sure that everything is legit, is solid, from there you go in and you post it, hey, this is done. Right? Now, of course, if you know how to finagle your way in and do it the proper way, you take your time. You do the work, you relax, you chill, you put on a Netflix, you do what you got to do, right? Go see your kid, right? Go outside, get, smoke a little cigarette, relax, chill, give yourself some time. Then you come back in, and you're on your Slack. You're like, hey guys, I'm still working on this, It's almost done. That shit's been done an hour ago. Shit was done an hour ago. You know what I'm saying? This is why I love these type of jobs. This is not, yo, we need to see what's going on. Yo, have you pushed your changes to the repo? I don't even like to work in that environment no more, right? Once I got into the space of e-commerce, right? Web administration, email development, Shopify. Like, trust me, if you ever work at a company where there's like 20 developers and everybody got to be communicating, going back and forth, and there's a project manager checking your work and this and that, and then you got to go in and deal with this fucking guy, this guy that got 10 years on top of you, and he's like, yeah, let's go in and go over your code. I don't want to deal with that type of job. I wouldn't want to be doing that shit. It's like somebody go in and be like, yo, here's water. Okay? Water in a bottle is beautiful, it's clean, purified water. Why will you go back to that dirty ass well after you taste the real water? This shit is fucking amazing. This shit tastes good, right? Clean water. No guppies, no gusarapos, no nothing floating on it. It's clean, purified. That's how I feel when I'm in the space of e-commerce, web administration. It's fun, right? It's fun, and you could go in a sense, have like a work-life balance, right? Sometimes people will be like, well, why don't you go in and just do full stack development? Why would you go in and do software engineering? Why? Because I love to code for me. I don't like to work for companies and code for them doing software engineering, full stack development. They overwork you. And people don't even know it. There's people that when you're young, like now I'm 38. I'm about to hit 40 pretty soon. Right? Back then I used to be so happy, like, yeah, throw me more work, man. Yeah, when I get home, I'm gonna code again. And on the weekend, I'm gonna learn another new skill. I'm not in that stage no more. I'm in the stage of, yo, I'm trading my time for money. Cool, let me go in, let's make my life easy. I get paid a good amount. Cool, I'm great. Okay, I'm not in the mood of doing overtime, extra work, and coming home with a headache because, man, I had to do so much fucking work and I had to do this and that. You know, my coworkers, they want me to work faster, and I'm not dealing with that shit. But again, it's up to you. I try to make your life easier. The things that I talk about, the things that I show on my channel, the career paths that we focus on codingphase.com. The goal is to help you get into the tech, right? Help you get experience, right? Help you make money and teach you skills that you could actually do on your own. Outside of work, these same things that you could do as a web administrator, you could do for multiple companies. So you saw how we saw a couple of contracts where they were like, $25 an hour, $50. Those are like project based, right? That means that you go in and you can go to your job. You could have a full-time job, and then from there have multiple other companies that you do the same thing for them, right? And you get extra income. Then at some point, if you decide, well, I'm making enough money already with this company and this company, maybe I'll quit my full-time job and now I just work with multiple companies, and you actually make more money. Again, this is when you see me here and you be like, well, what does Joe do? Joe is an online hustler. Joe is a trapper, online trapper. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The internet for me is literally my trap house. Okay? I make money off the internet, right? And the way how I do this is by learning skills that allow me to go in and do this shit on my own. If you only learn skills that you have to work for a company, like let's say, you go in and be like, well, I'm only going to learn enterprise level, this, and that, right? Well, guess what? You're always going to have to fucking have a job for the rest of your life because you don't have no other skills that allow you to build shit on your own. I learned this a long time ago. This is why I went on this path. When you see me, be like, why Joe ain't go to Google? Why Joe ain't? I didn't want to. I don't want to go in and go in an ecosystem where most of the skills that I'm going to learn in reality only serves, bigger companies. Because then now I got to be on TikTok crying because I can't find a job when they pull the rug on me. You get what I'm saying? I don't have to do that. I could go in and say, you know what? I could build my own freaking company. I could go in, do my own agency. I can go in, do, freelancing. I could go in, create my own digital products. I understand the whole process of from marketing to finding the right products, doing the research, doing all of that. How did I learn that? By working in the e-commerce industry. When you go in, again, going back to Fashion Nova, man, come on, feed the eyes. Okay, guys? Okay, you home. All right. No judgment in here. All right. So when you are in Fashion Nova and you're in this type of environment, it's a fast-paced environment. New products need to be created, right? New things is happening, and you're going to learn because you're going to have to work with everybody, from the people that work in the warehouses to the people that work in the, that create the clothes, right? Come up with those ideas, then the marketing department, then the designers, right? This allows you to soak up the whole business. When you leave from a company like this, you are leaving with the knowledge of doing the same shit that Fashion Nova does. You understand? So for me, when I finally understood all of this shit, I was like, man, because I've worked in companies where it was just software engineering, like just coding all day. And I'm like, damn, but I'm not learning nothing. Like, I'm learning how to code, but how do I go in and build my own business out of this shit? I wasn't getting that, right? And then I said, you know what? What are the things that I need to be focusing on? So when I decide I want to cash out, I want to get out of here, I don't want to work for nobody else, I'm leaving with all this knowledge. And the same thing that I'm doing for this company, I could sell it to this other company, this other company, this other company, this other company. And if I want to build my own business, I understand the whole process, right? I understand the whole process from, like I said, from building a website, building a landing page, understanding how to find the right product, how to do the right research. I know SEO. I know how to freaking go in and check through social media, find the things that's trending, how to find a good product that will make sense for, to be able to sell, how to go in and track the whole marketing side of things, meaning that when I run an ad, right, how do I go in and make sure that all of the ads are actually converting, which one is profitable, which one's not profitable, right? How do I make sure that if somebody comes in and they click on the link in the description, how do I know which video on my YouTube is actually the one driving more sales to my business, right? I didn't learn this shit from coding. I learned this from the environment. You know what I'm saying? So when I try to teach you guys a lot of this stuff, I'm trying to teach you some shit that you're going to use for the long term. If you go in on coding phase right now, you're not going to learn how to code. It's not about learning how to code, okay? It's about going through the coding phase to allow you to go in and then from there build your own business, create your own freaking company. Like, that's what I'm trying to do for you guys when you come to coding phase, okay? This is why we focus on these career paths. Now, of course, we do like full stack development, because you're gonna need to know how to do full stack development. But initially, when you first start, what you want to do is you want to get a job, you want to get paid, you want to learn from within. Okay, like, yeah, that some guy gets paid $200,000. Who gives a fuck if he makes $200,000 and in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you make $500,000? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to teach you. Like, when somebody comes like, yeah, I work at XYZ, I got this batch, X Google, X Facebook. So what? I make more money than you. That's my answer to it. So what? It's a nice feeling when you go in and you say, you sign your own checks. You know what I mean? Joe Santos is on coding phases, fucking payroll. I sign my own checks. You know what I'm saying? It's a good feeling. Right? But if I didn't go in and really focus on these type of skills, I'll just be working for somebody for the rest of my life. Okay. So again, shout out to everybody in here. Harry Cole says, hey, I gotta hop on the call right now, brother. Love to see you doing good. Yeah, man, take care. I got you. Shout out to Henry. He's another student, came from codingphase.com, works in another big company, doing email development. Okay. He went to a boot camp. The boot camp, ain't really. I mean, they taught him how to code, but they didn't prepare him to get a job. So he came to codingphase.com, learned a couple of little things, right? Because if you already know how to code, the foundation. You don't need to learn everything. We just got to go in and package you up. You know what I'm saying? Give you the right things, and then you're out of here. I don't want to hold nobody hostage. When you come in and you say, well, Joe, codingphase.com, much is it? $30? It's $30. It's not nothing crazy. You could cancel whenever you want and you could get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hold you hostage. I don't have you with a chain and ball and be like, damn, Joe got me for 5 years. It's like, nah, you leave whenever you want. Whenever you feel like, hey, man, I already learned what I need to learn. Hey, good luck. Again, when you're ready to come back and you figure out how to build your own business, then you come back and I'll help you out with that too. Okay, let me see. Shout out to everybody in here. Joe, can I join your platform and get a portfolio template but the other projects instead of HTML projects? Okay, can I join your platform, get the portfolio template, but put other projects instead of the HTML email projects? Yes, of course. The portfolio template that we give you, right? You're supposed to customize it, change it, add different things, add different sections, add different images, right? What it does is it gives you the first starting point of what your portfolio should look like. Then from there, you can go in and change things, but definitely use PostHog to be able to go in and see what's going on your website. Okay. It's, without data, you're not going to find out what you got to fix in your portfolio. So it's very important that you continue using PostHog, like how we actually set it up inside of the portfolio. Okay. Renee says, if you're in the fence of getting into coding phase, take the leap of faith and put in the work. The best decision I made. Yeah, man. Shout out to Renee. Let me see. Kristen goes, I'm learning React for no reason. I mean, there's a reason. You want to learn React. React is good, right? I'm not saying that it's bad. I teach React, right? But like I told you, right, Kristen, right? So Kristen, shout out to Kristen. Go check him out. He has a YouTube channel where he also does live streams as he's learning how to code. The amount of skills that you already have, Kristen, you could get a job. Remember what you was telling me. You were in IT, right? You left the company or got let go from the company, whatever the situation might be, and now you're learning how to code, right? From what I saw on your live stream, you already know enough to get a job. Like, yes, you could go into this path of like, I want to learn React, you can learn all of those things. But wouldn't it be nice if you go in and you say, well, there's a couple of things that I could learn in a couple of weeks. We're talking about for someone like yourself, because you already know the whole foundation. Like, you go in and learn, how to use a CMS system, how to use Shopify, right? In 2 weeks, you already have a portfolio and the portfolio projects that you can start applying to jobs. Where you at right now, you're nowhere near to be able to apply to a job as a front-end developer. And that's the thing that I try to tell people, right? How bad do you want to start working? How fast do you want to start working? How fast do you want to get in, right? Because you're going to learn more, not on a course, not practicing at home. You're going to learn more within the job, okay? And then from there, those extra skills, once you have this new job, those extra skills, like you want to go deeper into JavaScript, you want to go deeper into like Node.js, React, backend, right? Working with like databases, you can learn that while you're already working. So then now when you decide to go in and say, well, let me apply as a front-end developer. Well, Kristen Coates has a year that he worked for Fashion Nova. And he worked in let's say in the marketing department, working with this technology, working on a CMS system. He built this website, Now, when you go in, you got something on your back. You got a little book bag that says, yeah, I got some experience. What's up? Right? Right now, when you show up, you could learn everything about front-end development. You could learn React. You could learn Prisma. You could learn Next.js, Node.js, freaking whatever other bullshit that's out right now. Because JavaScript has a lot of bullshit that comes out every fucking week. Right? You could go in and learn all of those things. And when you apply to a job, right, it's going to show you got no experience doing any type of web development, which automatically disqualifies you. Because if right now those companies are looking for people with experience, because they have the options. Right now, most of the people that's laid off, they're not applying to this type of jobs. They're trying to get those same jobs that they were doing before. So then now it's a employer's market, where the employer goes in and says, yo, we got time today, because we're gonna wait it out. We're gonna get the guy, right, that's gonna come in here with an MIT degree, 5 years of experience, because he just got laid off. We know Facebook just laid off, X amount of people. We know Google just laid off a couple of people. So then now you're a beginner, that those positions might have gone to you before, but the market has switched where now the employer has an option of choosing whoever they want. And that puts you in a disadvantage, because now you're not competing with junior level developers, guys who went to a boot camp, who went to a community college, that went to an online course, right? The guy that's on YouTube with 20,000 tutorials. You're not competing with that guy. You're competing with the guy that got 5 years, right? A master's degree, and he just got laid off, right? And now you're competing with him. You got to make your life easy. You got to go in and say, read the room, okay? You got to read the room, right? Sometimes it is what it is, right? It's like you go into a club, okay? You go into a club, okay? There's a couple of baddies in there, okay? There's a couple of 10s, but you already seen shorty got the diamond earrings, shorty got the diamond chain, shorty got the Birkin bag, right? Shorty got the, she got the Ferrari keys on top of the table just for a flex, right? Guess what? I'm not there yet. I'm not going to that table right now, because I got to read the room. If I'm over here, I came on an Uber. You know what I'm saying? I got enough for my drink and maybe one of her drinks. I got to read the room. I got to go in and say, I got to make this shit easy. I got to make this shit easy. I got to go in and make this shit where it's going to be, when I'm ready, I'll pop up in that VIP table. Right now, I look crazy trying to get that. I'm making it difficult for myself. You know what I'm doing? I'm bagging somebody on the line. Yo, what up, Ma? What's going on? Where you guys going? Yeah, we about to get some drinks. Yo, come over here. Let me talk to you. I'm bagging that. I'm not bagging the chick in the VIP with the diamond and the Birkin bag. I'm not there yet. You got to read the room. You got to read the room. If you could read the room, you're always going to succeed, right? There's levels to this shit. When you're ready to go there, you go there. It's the same thing for all of this positions. There's positions right now that there's levels to this shit. Okay? That's just how it is. Okay? Make your life easy. If you got to apply to a job and the job has 10,000 applicants, who's going to see you? You're a beginner. You already got filtered out the moment that you apply to it because you got no experience. So if they go in and they start looking at, the top 100 out of 10,000 people, right? You might not get seen. You might not even get a call. This is why you see them, they'll be like, man, I got 9 months applying for jobs. You're applying to jobs that you're nowhere near close to qualify for that fucking job right now. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying with that, Chris, is like, make your life easy, bro. You switching careers, right? You already have some experience with working with technical things, which is IT. All of those things give you an edge. So now let me make my life easy. Let me go into web administration. Let me go into email development. Let me go into Shopify. Let me work in e-commerce. Let me work in AI automations. Because then I could use the things that I have, those perks that I have, those little badges that I have, and I could use that shit and make me look like a bigger fish. Because the truth is, a lot of people don't even know how to do none of this shit that I'll be teaching on codingphase.com. There's people right now, you go in and you tell them, yo, you know about email development? And they got 10 plus years in the game. They're like, I don't know about that. What's that? I've never heard of that. And they got 10 years as software engineers. That lets you know they live in a bubble. They in one little spot. All they doing is the click-clacking, coding, that's it. They don't even know how the business works. You know what I'm saying? And this is facts. There's a lot of people like that. They're like, they know Java, they know Erlang, they know Elixir, they know freaking PHP, they know C#, they know all of this shit, but they have no idea how the business works. So then now in this industry and how things are moving, it's not about knowing like the most technical shit. It's about actually knowing how all of these pieces work together. And, for you, the best chance is going to be going into like web administration, email development, e-commerce, MarTech, bro. Look it up, MarTech. Let me see, reading through here. Sorry, guys. I get passionate about this, right? Because I really try to help people out. I want people to get results. There's nothing more sadder than when you go in and you bust your ass, you spend 6 months, a year, learning a bunch of skills, and then from there, you can't even get a job. You're not even getting an interview. Okay? And it's really sucks because it's like, it's a dedication, you know what I mean? Maybe you got a wife, maybe you got kids. Now everybody looking at you crazy like, yo, honey, it's been a year. Yeah, nah, don't worry, my time's coming. Honey, it's a year and a half. Ma, listen, I still got some savings, just wait it out, chill. Boom, now you start looking around like, damn, I'm gonna have to go to this IT job again. Why? Not because you couldn't find a job, it's just you wasn't applying to the right ones. And now you got to settle with the same bullshit that you're trying to leave. You know what I mean? So again, I'm trying to, help people out. I don't know. I get excited. I get it. What's the word? I'm passionate about this. Okay, after learning to code Coding Phase, I was able to get a web admin job at Fashion Nova and become a sugar daddy. Oh, man, reading through here. It depends on product, man. If you let AI take over your product, it's game over. If you do some generic stuff, Yes, but custom work with your idea, you need to step it up. You can get agent to code it. Yes. Okay. Let me see. Good afternoon, Casey. Me. What's going on? What's popping? Let me see. Chosen One says, when the AI automations course will be launching pretty soon. Okay, pretty soon. We're working on it right now. I already did a bunch of videos for it. But, you know, it's a process to it. I got to record the video, edit the video. Then from there, go in, put a bunch of stuff together. Then from there, you know, create the material for the marketing before we launch it. You know, set up the budget for the ads. It's a process before I go in and release it. 707 says, but Cloco can do all of that already? No, it can't. Okay, this is like, but Cloco can do it. No, it can't. Okay, Cloco cannot do most of the shit that, you know, that you, in a sense, you do. In, you know, with all the things that I talked about before. Okay, that's a fact. Some people, y'all think it could do it because you don't know anything about that. It's like when I go in, I'll be seeing like, I give you a great example, right? Right now, okay, I give you a great example of this. Someone goes in, uses Claude Code, right? Or was it Clawbot, right? They go in and they say, well, I'm going to get a couple of agents. I'm going to get an agent that does the marketing. I'm going to get an agent that goes in that designs this. I'm going to get an agent that does the ads. I'm going to do another agent that does the research and this, and that, right? Mind you, they don't know shit about how a business works, right? You see how all of these people are buying a bunch of freaking Mac studios. None of them are building anything. None of them are building anything and none of them are making money. Now, the people who's building and making money are the people that already have done this. Okay? So I give you a great example. You can go in and use VO3. You could use Sora. You can go in and, you know, use Kling, right, to create videos. If you are not a, let's say, someone who is a filmmaker, right, a photographer that understands what makes a good video, your videos is going to look like crappy AI bullshit. Now, the guy that's a filmmaker that's been doing this shit for 5-10 years, when he uses these tools and he learns how to use it, he creates content that looks super real, that looks like a movie. That's the thing that you have to understand. When you go in and say, well, Cloco can do this, you gotta have the actual knowledge of how this shit works. It's the same thing for a developer. I could go in and take my wife and tell her, hey, baby, could you go in and I'm gonna give you my cursor, right? And you go in and build me a web application for, I don't know, for editing images. And she's gonna go in and write down, hey, make me a website that I could edit images similar to Canva. Fucking Opus is gonna go in, boom, 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 create some bullshit. It kind of edits the images, right? It kind of does what it's supposed to do, but the website might not be secure. The website might not have the features of, you know, a subscription or a payment. Might not have the right UI that it's supposed to have. It's gonna build something, but you need to actually be a developer to really take the full advantage of this. And that's the thing. When you say, well, Claude can already do this shit. No, it can't. It needs somebody that actually knows how all of this shit works. This is why you're seeing so many people that are buying fucking Mac studios and none of them are fucking building anything or making any money. Go on Twitter, go on X, search Mac Studio, Claude Code, or was it Claude Code or whatever they fucking call it, Open Claude, right? The amount of people that's fucking just going in, I got an agent that does this. None of them are making any money out of this shit. None of them are building anything. Now, the people that is actually making money is the people that already had a system before that. Because you could go in and tell the AI, hey, build me an idea, give me an app and give me an idea to make $1 million. If you've never made $1 million before, right? And you've never built any business before, even when now you have access to the AI, you don't know the process that you need to do for your business to actually succeed. So the AI is, in a sense, needs somebody that actually know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? To really maximize, what its potential is. If you don't understand that, then I can't do nothing for you. But don't put that in your head. Claude Code can already do this shit. No, it can't. Okay, trust me. I've been using this shit since it fucking came out for a long time. I'm talking about we've been fucking using AI since like 2022, 2023. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I use all the tools. I can go in. I don't want to flex, but this is what I do. You get what I'm saying? And I could tell you, like, yo, you don't think like that. Don't think like, well, this shit already could do everything. No, it can't at all. You need to actually know what you're doing, and that's how you maximize shit. Having access to the tool is like a front end framework. Right? A guy that go in, but well, I know how to use jQuery, and they build some little bullshit application, right? It's like you press a button, a little menu pops up, like that's cool and all. But then a guy that really knows how to fucking code and really knows how to engineer this shit goes in and builds on top of jQuery a whole brand new fucking application. You'd be like, damn, you could do this shit on jQuery? And it's like, yeah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to this shit. Okay. Danny Belfield, shout out to everybody here. Joe recommended checking out email development. That's how I got my first coding job. Yes. We got a lot of people that have came through that came through the coding phase, man. Guys, I'm actually need to go. We've been here for an hour. I actually got to go out real quick, but thank you for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed that you guys came in. And came in and showed some love and got to hang out with your boy. Do you recommend learning Hydrogen for Shopify? No, I would recommend you learn how to go in and build Shopify themes using Liquid. That's what you're gonna be able to do initially. The companies that use Hydrogen, right? In a sense, going back to the same thing that I was telling you from before, they're gonna ask for more experience from you. Take it one at a time, right? You already know HTML, CSS, right? Learn how to build Shopify theme using Liquid. Most of the companies they use Liquid, all right, and for Shopify. Now Hydrogen is usually for bigger companies that want to go in and they want to have full control of their application. At that point, you're basically a full stack developer. So if you go into like, hey, I want to learn Hydrogen right now, it's like you're trying to learn some shit that's outside of the scope of what you're gonna be able to get a job with right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's better for you to go in, learn how to build the Shopify theme using Liquid, then from there go into Shopify's Hydrogen. And that's my advice, what I would tell you, right? Of course, if you're just curious, you want to go and learn it, you want to try it out, go for it. But I would rather you will spend the time that you have available into building some, like a real Shopify theme. Like you could go in and say, well, let me build let's say Louis Vuitton store. Okay, I'm going to rebuild the Louis Vuitton store, right? And I'm going to do it on Shopify. Okay? So you will take this website, rebuild the whole website. You build the HTML, CSS version of it, right? After you do this, you go in and you take all of these things, all of these sections, and you go in on Shopify and create those sections. You create the whole menu, right? This is a big menu that they have here, right? And you will go in and create all of these collections. When you do this, right, you will learn everything that you need to know about Shopify. You take it doesn't have to be the Louis Vuitton store. It could be any store that you want. But you go in and you rebuild it, but using Shopify. At that point, you will basically be a Shopify developer, right? From there, the next stage will be to learn how to use, let's say you already in the path of learning React, right? Then from there, you will go in and say, okay, let me learn React. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn how to use Node.js and React to build a Shopify app. So a Shopify app is an app that's embedded within the Shopify theme, and you can go in and sell it for a subscription. You can sell it on, one-time payment, etc. But that's what companies are gonna need you to do in 98% of the companies, right? They're gonna need you to do a Shopify theme, manage the Shopify theme, edit and customize the theme, add extra features to the website. So again, by rebuilding the website and doing it within Shopify, you're going to learn all of those things. Then the next step will be, how do I build Shopify apps? And then, because that's what companies are going to ask you for. They're going to be like, well, we would like to have a modal that will pop up, and let's say the person will scratch it off and it will give them a discount of 25%. You could create an application for that, right? You create the application. Now you know how that works. Hey, we would like you to do an application that allows us to bundle multiple products at the checkout if they try to purchase this specific type of product, and you create that Shopify app. At that point, you know how to use Node.js, you know how to use React, you know how to use a database, you know how to deploy an application, you know how to work with something like ngRock or ngGrok, right? Which is for like proxies. Like you know how to do all of this shit. The last thing you want to do is then you go into hydrogen, because hydrogen is very, very niched. There's way more companies that do development within Shopify's ecosystem than them having their own website and then communicating with Shopify through the APIs. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. Kristen goes, Kristen's like, damn, Joe, I just wanted to know about hydrogen, bro. You just threw me a whole fucking story right now. Yo, man, shout out to everybody in here, guys. Listen, I love you guys. Thank you for coming through. Like I said, for those of you guys that's interested in learning, the skills to get a job in tech, right? And you want to come in, definitely come check out codingphase.com. This is what I do, okay? You go in, check out the success stories. This is just a few of the people that are willing to share their stories. But we've helped thousands of people since 2017, okay? This is why we've been doing this for years. Man, I love it. I enjoy it. And like I said, guys, definitely, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Take care, guys. All right. Peace.